I think we should talk about autistic first. 'Cause
Okay,
I feel like most of our discussion is going to be about 13. Well, at least for me.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
Autistic me.
autistic me.
So we got 3 different point views. Well, 2 of them were very supportive. Like Ollie and Alex had mostly the parents were more supportive.
But
than,
Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom was not supported very well in his household.
And the thing is, I think it's very much a reflection of his parents and the way they're.
Yeah,
they're
he
taking
seemed
care of him.
more secluded. Their house is kind of in the middle of nowhere. And so he would talk to people online, which is really shady for a 15-year-old. In general, just be talking to people over the internet. As a parent, I feel like you should monitor that a lot closer than his mom was just oh yeah, he's just talking to people online.
Yeah, no, definitely.
They may or may not show up. So.
Hey.
Hello, cat. Anyways.
Okay.
Okay. Back.
It's okay. Oh yeah. One thing I wanted to say is that his parents also had, I think, other kids, and so they kind of concentrated on them. Whereas the other Alex was a single child, the other one was a single child. This one actually had siblings. So maybe that simple fact that they weren't there for him the entire time.
Yeah, and especially because it seemed like there were a lot of younger siblings. He might not have gotten...
Yeah, I think there were
if he was the youngest,
ones.
he probably would have gotten more attention or his needs met better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was just a lack of education on his autism.
His own self.
Yeah, he didn't know.
Himself and his family, they just didn't seem to quite understand why he would do the things that he did, especially his father.
How he was aggressive. Your cousin, she sometimes gets aggressive, but it's just because they don't want to be like that. It's just because that's how they are, and I guess they didn't handle that well. They thought her mom was yeah, he hits me all the time. She didn't stop to think he hits me because he's like that.
He doesn't know he doesn't have that in him. He just knows that he's hurting people. And you know how in the end he was just oh, I laughed at the note that my mom wrote. It's just that he doesn't have that connection normal people.
Exactly.
It's
the lack of the connection, the understanding with the social, it goes along with the social connections and everything.
But I thought it was weird that he wanted to distance himself as much as possible with other people, but then he wanted to be famous and popular.
Yeah.
So that was pretty weird.
Ironic. I didn't even think about that.
I think a lot of people with Asperger's or just autism, they want the connection with other people, but they don't necessarily either know what it is or know how to make that connection. And so it's this weird want, but then unknowing how to actually acquire that.
No, definitely.
Or who knows, maybe he was just acting that way in order to get attention.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Could be acting out.
Because he feels he doesn't get it enough from his own family, so he's I want it from others.
Other people.
Maybe.
And they sent him off.
Yeah.
That's how Ollie really wanted a job and wanted that connection with other people. I think that's kind of similar.
Mm-hmm.
And the same with Alex, our favorite, who really wanted a girlfriend and a family and everything, which is tragic. Killing him off at the end.
Yeah, deciding to do that.
I was ready to see him,
I was expecting him to be married or something, but
you read it and you get the feels.
No.
No, that's true about that routine. I used to work at a Best Buy, and there was this guy who would always come in. His name was Fred. And he would always return those Walkman. You guys know those the really old ones?
CD Walkmans?
CD was. It was never open, never he would always call before. Hey, I got this. Can I still return it? It's still within 15. That was his routine. Part of his routine. He would always come in before the 15th day, and he would just exchanged it. And he would always be like, "Hey, Monica, are you my friend? Are you my friend?" I would be like, "Yeah, I'm your friend." And he would always come, but. I'm not sure what happened, and one time, a new girl didn't know, and he was we would always do the exception, and so even though if he was a day off or something, we would always do the exception and exchanged it, but she didn't know, and she told him, "Oh, we can't exchange it. It's past the
date.
the return policy," and I never saw him back.
Oh
No
no!
way, she broke the cycle.
She broke that cycle, and like it's. I feel like it is important because it's like their routine. It's something to keep them busy.
And just feel the structure and like schedule and have like some kind of purpose too. But
Yeah, I second that because it's the same guy that goes to where I work and he wants his sandwiches like the specific way. He does it like every day at 8 o'clock on Fridays. And he wants it like the specific way. And he starts to get all uncomfortable and like really defensive once that routine is broken.
And I don't know about you guys. Have you guys worked with children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys worked with autistic children?
yeah.
So what do you think are some things, because I definitely haven't, what do you think are some things we can do in the classroom to like help them?
That's a good one.
Just have a lot of people that
routine. I'm
specialize.
assuming routine would be a good one.
Yeah,
Like
well,
have them be like, "Oh, you're in charge of like passing out pencils all the time," or maybe like you're gonna be like have them be like your assistant. Like teachers, like I've noticed that students that are problematic, like in like my little second graders. There's this kid. He's like always jumping around, always like very impatient, and I tell him, "Okay, you're gonna help me. You're gonna be my TA," and so he
gives them a job.
Yeah,
kind
I
of.
feel like that helps them. You know,
It's like your guys' video and your presentation where
Oh,
that was
yeah.
just,
I
like,
really
they
like
had the
that
coffee
video.
cart and everything.
It was an SF too. I
Yeah.
was like, I wouldn't know that place.
Yeah, I think also just like making sure there's like an understanding because I feel like a lot of teachers don't. I mean, obviously, I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we would because
Because we're
educated,
Awesome.
but just making sure like you fully understand instead of like getting frustrated. Like, what was his name? Wow, spacing out. Tom. Thank you. Like Tom's family was getting really frustrated and didn't really know how to deal with him. It's like takes a lot of patience. And then also just making sure, like how he said, like the kids in his class, like at school would tease him. Just making sure that like the class has an understanding and maybe not like just putting it out like, oh, everybody like, but just like having some kind of explanation to them or just be like teaching of acceptance.
Oh, definitely. Make a comfortable environment.
Are
Yeah.
With your guys' experience in your guys' high school, did you like was like the autistic students like separated from like? Do they have like separate classrooms or was
so.
it together?
Ours was together.
I don't think. I
I think you said everything was.
Everything was together at my
So,
school
yeah.
because we didn't have that many kids, so
Yeah,
it was
okay.
small. But we had it was all included, which I actually think helped people in my school like have a better understanding because it's just like you get to know them as who they are. Like we had a few kids like that were autistic. And you're just like, oh, that's just Nathan, you know, like it, like you just get used to it, like it's
You're
instead of
exposed
being,
to it.
you're exposed to it, and you get used to it, and you just like kind of accept it, and so nobody ever like teased any of the people, like this kids at our school that had differences, because it was always just like you just kind of learned to like it for them, you know, you're kind of just like, oh, like you're like doing their little, because they have like. I don't know, sometimes they would help out with the school or they'd like bring the attendance or
They
I
had
don't know.
jobs.
They had little jobs and you're just kind of or just like things they did or like jokes and you're like, oh well that's just like Nathan telling like his joke and it's just it's funny because like you know he enjoys like telling his like one joke over and over again. You're just like gets you every time. But
I think I think most schools need to start like doing what your schools doing, and integrating everyone just
but
together.
it takes a lot of inclusion. Like it just a lot of like talking about it. Like my school had a lot of like discussions about things.
We need to talk about things like this.
Because I think if you just like throw them in, like how Tom had to switch schools because like people weren't understanding him at his first school, you know, and then they switched him to like the school that was designed for people with like autism and other disabilities. And because I think if you're just like thrown in like bigger high schools or even middle schools, elementary schools, and then they just are bullied or there's no conversation about it.
In general, bigger schools are always hell for like everybody.
Yeah,
you know,
as
people are
is,
so bullied
it's hard.
Yeah.
So.
No, definitely. All right.
On
So that
to
was
the
10
second
minutes.
one.
On to what was it called? 13. Alright, so first of all, I wanted to say, I can't believe it only has 4 stars on Netflix. I feel like everyone that voted for Donald Trump made that happen, because I think it's a great documentary.
The numbers were really shocking. I mean, like, I knew about, like, I think we all kind of knew that this is happening because we've had discussions about, like, the school-to-prison pipeline and all of that, but then it's just to, like, see the numbers and, like, the visual with it was, like, a lot. Like, the increase in prisoners that, like, went, like, just spiked, and you're like, oh my god, like, because you can see the number and the thing, and you're like, oh.
I read The New Jim Crow, and they discussed a lot of the things that were in the book, but I think, like, I didn't know too much about this until I got into college, and that's kind of the thing that bothers me, because if I would have learned this stuff in high school or whatever, then maybe I would, I don't know, be doing something else with my life, but because, like, it's a real issue, and I can't believe, like, it's still around. Like, it's a racial caste system, like they said. It was slavery, and then from there it went to the Jim Crow, and now we have mass incarceration. And with that, like, the government and every other corporation is highly benefiting from that incarceration through privatized prisons. And it's like, I feel like that's just a direct slap in the face. Like, not only are we going to imprison you and make you like slaves again, but we're going to make money off you, and you're still going to make everything that we need.
Exactly. Like,
it's like low-key slavery.
Yeah. Well, it's just relabeling. It's like a rebranding.
They redesigned it.
Yeah.
And it's still very much a part of our society today, especially like when they said, whenever you apply for a new job, have you ever been convicted of a felony? Like, that stays with you
or
your entire
just
life.
Like food stamps.
The right to vote.
The right to vote.
Oh my god! Like, all
I
this
thought
stuff.
it was really interesting when they were talking about, like, the fine print of, like, the 13th Amendment, where they're like, yeah, it, like, sounds all good and everything, but then when you actually, like, read into the fine print, it's like, you have all this, but as soon as we imprison you, we take it all away. Like,
But as soon as you have been marked a criminal, you're back to what you were.
You're gone.
And I think it all just, with the imprisonment, like, it all just started up again with, like, drugs and everything.
Yeah.
And the thing that in the new Jim Crow that always stood out to me, and I still think of this day, is kind of like, well, what makes the white boy in the dorms, like, selling drugs to get money for spring break so much better than the black guy in his neighborhood selling drugs to try and support his family. You know, he survived. Like, but, of course, the black one's the ones that's getting put in prison. Like, nothing's happening to the college guy.
Yeah, and that goes the same with crack and cocaine. Cocaine
the difference.
is the rich white people drug, and crack,
I thought, like, with what you were talking about, like, they were talking about the sentencing and, like, how it's easier to take the plea over, like, even if you're innocent, like, taking the plea is better. What was his name? Khalif?
Yeah, the guy
who was in prison for 3 years for something he didn't do, and then they eventually he refused to take the plea, and then they eventually let him out. He ended up hanging himself because of all the trauma he went through in prison.
And in that, like, prison, our prisons are designed to make people go crazy. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, the whole idea of prisons, putting people in cages is kind of, very inhumane. And
no windows, small, like, they were like, nobody would even put their pets through, like, that kind of treatment.
So much isolation. And
like, some high schools are designed that way too, like,
It's
scary.
There are a couple high schools that I've seen, like, in San Diego, like Hoover High
Hoover's
School.
bad.
Hoover is the worst. Where you see it and it looks like a prison. You're like, okay, so there's like a chain link fence and nobody gets in or out. You have to go through like a metal detector every day. Like, that's crazy. I mean, I never had to go through that because I went to like a super small school.
Yeah.
But I've seen other schools, and it's just it's like whoa.
Yeah. So for prison, I don't know, just something that I think about is like, okay, so obviously for the ones who don't even deserve half of like what prison offers, that not offers, but like puts them through. Besides those people, like for the ones who actually deserve it, okay, like you killed this somebody, blah blah blah. Then would you still like? How do you think it could be improved? Like, do you think that the ones who actually, do you think the ones that actually deserve it should stay in those cells, and then it should be like a little bit better for like less minor?
Well, dang, I understand what you're saying, because like it's inhumane to put someone in a cage, but it's also inhumane to kill someone.
Yeah.
So how do you punish that crime? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
That's a tough answer.
I don't think anybody should be, because like there are people who are accused of murder who didn't actually murder anybody.
Oh yeah,
that's true too.
And so it's like, yeah, if you just let like all the murderers be in like horrible things, but then it's like also some of them could be innocent. So it's that weird like gray area.
And then there's the part where it's like people would rather be in prison because sometimes it's better than their own living situation.
Ooh, yeah, they get food in prison.
Yeah.
I mean,
you get a lot of other bad stuff.
That's just what I think I've heard from.
Yeah, no, I've heard that too. Or people that then they get used to the prison system, like while they're in prison, and then when they're released, they don't know how to function in society anymore.
Dang.
It's just. I mean, I know that we're not talking about murder in this film, but like it's just something that.
It was the war on drugs.
That's
so
completely
stupid.
Different. Yeah.
The war on drugs was stupid, and how the media portrayed criminals and super predators as only black people. I think it was just the system is set up for failure, and that's what sucks.
Yeah.
All right, and that was our discussion. That was our YouTube video. Catch us next week at the same time.